Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another MLB The Show 23 stream here on Twitch. I'm NextJGGen24, and today we're gonna actually start the real grind in the April monthly awards program. So the last time I spoke to you guys, I think it was on Saturday, I had finally completed the April's Tops Now program, which you needed in order to complete this collection here. You needed to get all 95 overalls from the April Tops Now program in order to make 15 progress in the April monthly awards program. Now, believe me, that's going to save you a lot of time. What's up, Jay? What's up, O-Town? It's good seeing you. Good meeting you and your buddy Zach yesterday too. It was great meeting you. I know you had to tough it out like I did. Oh God, what a game that was. Although at least there was some offense, whereas yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed meeting you both. Talking about baseball, the Mets, and everything. It was awesome. Oh, you moved to the... Were you shouting? Were you shouting? Because I much imagine you were. It must not have worked, though. That's the thing. It must not have worked because the Mets didn't win. Really? You were there at the bottom of the eighth? Yeah, but it was kind of meaningless. It was just... Okay, so they got 6 runs instead of 5. Strike 3, sit down. Well, you already saw my tweet about Jacobonis, Leon, and who's the other one that I said? Jacobonis, Leon, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the other guy. No. It glitched out. There was nothing I could do there. I don't remember, but it was definitely one of those middle relief pitchers. Oh, Tommy Hunter. That's who it was. They needed to be gone yesterday. Well, by yesterday when I sent that tweet, I meant Saturday. But they need to be gone. Leon adds nothing. Yeah, Hunter's a disaster. And Jacobonis, why didn't we just bring in Brigham? At least Brigham is solid, and he can give you 2 innings, which you really that's all you need. Or at least that's all you needed to get to the 6th inning. What's the difference between OPS and OPS? Well, I know OPS is on base plus slugging. OBS, I don't know, Town, you want to help me out here? OBS? How you doing, by the way, Layla? You see that Devils get that Sunday win against Carolina? And it was a statement one at that. I'm doing good. Well, I mean, I could be better. No, not OPS, OBS. Layla here is asking. I know OPS is on base plus slugging. I just don't know what OBS is. I mean, to me, it sounds like a whole lot of BS. Which is your favorite player to watch that's not a Met? I enjoyed watching Joe Mauer. Like, I guess I always, like, watching Mike Piazza for so many years, I always appreciated the catcher that could really hit. BS is this. No, that's MBS. Mets bullshit. That's what that is. Yeah, but Joe Mauer was definitely. Oh, right now? Um, hmm. Not on the Mets, huh? I mean, if I'm gonna pick one, I'm gonna go with Mike Trout. But not because he's one of the top players in the league, but because he's from New Jersey. Yeah, Tomas Nido is done. He's done. But Alvarez, yeah, Alvarez looked great. I'm telling you, Alvarez and Beatty, they're the one. Like, what are your thoughts on Lindor's season so far? It's about. I mean, it's definitely worse than what it started off with last year. Um, but here's the thing: Lindor has always been a second half player. He's throughout his career he's had better numbers heading towards the postseason after the All-Star break. So I'm not hitting the panic button right now, but it definitely concerns me that he's not hitting as well as he should be. With that said, he definitely does. He's going to be in New York for 10 years, well, this is his third year, so he's got, after this season, 7 more to go. Um, so he has potential. I'll agree with you on that. But the thing is, he's got to be more consistent. And unfortunately, he's not going to. I know he was used to it when he was in Cleveland, but he's not going to lead off for us. I think a lot of the Mets players have potential to be GOAT Mets, like Pete Alonso for sure, Jeff McNeil, Brandon Nimmo, Edwin Diaz. They all have the potential to be great Mets.
Nope, that's a ball. Count 1-0.
Beatty and Alvarez, certainly. At least they're getting off to a good start. Vientos, we know he's going to be up at some point. Mauricio has to be up. If he's not up, then he's going to end up traded. So there's a lot of potential here. Senga has a lot of potential. Definitely not Verlander or Scherzer. The way I see it, for someone to qualify as a GOAT Met, in my opinion,
That's a ball.
they they are actually not bad. They just got to be used by the Mets. They're not they got to be properly used by the Mets, because right now they're not being properly used. You have Showalter is bringing in guys like Tommy Hunter, Dominic Leone, and Tommy Hunter, Dominic Leone, And wow, I can't believe I forgot the other. Jimmy Yacobonis. Like, definitely Robertson. It's Robertson. I've yet to see him blow a save this year, albeit I probably just jinxed him. So, just be on the lookout for that, because now I'm going to jinx him. Yeah, Daniel Robertson has been very solid. I think a lot more solid than people are giving him credit for. Because I think everyone is just like so hopeful that Diaz is going to be back. And here's the thing with Diaz's recovery. Like, obviously it's great to see him try to make progress. But let's assume that beginning of September, and I think I'm being very generous on that return from a timeline. Well, he's been solid. Doesn't matter what age he is. He's solid. But let's just say, for all intents and purposes, that Edwin Diaz is coming back to the Mets early September. Let's keep in mind he has not thrown in a single game since tearing his PCL. So he's going to need some rehab games. And for pitchers, usually it's a lot longer for them than it is for batters. And you also have to keep in mind that early September, if you're going to throw him in AA and AAA, well, they don't have much time because September 17th is the final game of the AA season, and September 24th is the end of the AAA season. At least for the Mets teams. Now, you can also, one guy pointed out to me on Twitter, because I was making this argument, you could do an inter-squad team, you could also do you could do high A and single A, you could do that, but I personally would not risk it, especially if the Mets are nowhere near where they should be. Like, if the Mets are in close contention and they need Diaz back in the lineup, fine. But if they're nowhere close at all, then I say don't even bother. Don't even bother. Just let him come back next season, because what purpose is he going to have at the end of the season if they're not competing? So, I personally like to be cautious when it comes to injuries, only because I'm afraid that if Diaz comes too soon, if he comes back too soon, or if he tries to do too much, he's going to do more damage to his PCL, and either that'll set him back for a few months into the 2024 season, or that's going to set him back his entire career. And I don't want that. I want more years with Edwin Diaz. I want Narcos to play every time there's a save opportunity. But it ain't going to do it's not going to be any good if he doesn't end up coming back fully healthy. So I like to be cautious with injuries. And speaking of which, did you guys see that New York Post article suggesting that Scherzer may be hurt? Because I just saw it. Now, I don't know I didn't really get a chance to read that article. I just saw it. And a lot of people are commenting on it in Twitter. And I gotta say, those people are right. It's one of the few times I'll ever say that that Mets Twitter is right to criticize one of our players. And this is the reason why. If Scherzer is hurt, there is no reason he should be playing. I get that, and this is in general with athletes. I don't understand this. Like, is it a drive to compete that's pushing these players to want to ignore injuries that seems like they could play through it? Or is it that they don't want to lose money? Absolutely, Nimmo should bat lead off. He's the guy that's going to draw walks. He's at least got a very good chance at getting on base as the leadoff hitter. Now, I wish he would stop taking strike one right down the middle. I wish he would swing sometimes, because we know what kind of power he can have. He's shown it off. But aside from that, the guy is going to be on base, and that's going to set up nicely for Lindor or McNeil or whoever's going to be the second hole, or whoever's going to bat in the second hole. No, I've never played it. I don't think I've ever heard of it. But just going back to when did I leave? I stayed the entire game. O-Town. I figured I didn't have anything better to do on a Sunday, and plus the local train was probably going to get me, or the local 7 line was going to get me into Port Authority at the same time that the Express would. So I figured there was no point in me leaving early. If there was one home run ball, definitely from Pete Alonso. I want to catch a Pete Alonso home run so badly. You definitely did, O-Town. You said Vogelback was gonna get a home run, so you definitely called it. Yeah, I remembered. As soon as Vogelback hit that home run, I was like, gee, now all he needs is Pete Alonso to hit a home run, and he would have had a freaking crystal ball somewhere up his butt. So, you were close. I don't know if you saw, but I when they did the tailgate trivia...
1-0.
Oh, you ended up going up to the 500s? Yeah. Yeah, it was going to be tough. It doesn't surprise me, because Sunday weekend games you can expect to be packed a lot, since that's where, all the families are going to bring their kids and everything. So it's not a surprise that that game was packed. I just wish it was for a better result. What was I saying? Oh yeah, about Scherzer. So, I haven't read the article, so I don't know what the extent of his injury is, but it sounds like this was an injury that he was just praying was not going to be worse than it was. And it's like, to me, okay, he said it's getting better, but tomorrow, is he going to be fine for tomorrow? If not, then move Verlander up, since they had the off day. Move Verlander up and give Scherzer a day. Well, I don't like that I don't like that he's trying to pitch through this. I don't like that in general. I don't like any athlete doing that in general. Now, if it's just, because, I'll tell you, one time when I played high school football as a freshman, and during during gym class, I sprained my ankle, and I actually sprained it pretty bad. It was, I forget I think I might have injured it for the entire week. No. I injured it probably the day that I went to practice. It was like Thursday or Friday. And it really hurt to walk on it. It really did. I know I didn't break it, but I knew I sprained it at the very least.
Count 1-0.
But anyway, so I sprained it, and my coach, I wanted to play, but my coach was like, "No, Jeffrey, we saw you limping around." Offensive lineman, mostly a guard. I was a guard, but I really wasn't good. Like, I think my most effective thing was being a lineman on special teams, field goal formation. No. First of all, I'm too small. I'm 5'8". Defenders that are like freaking 6'2", or 6'3", they're just gonna eat me up. They're gonna roll over me. It's gonna be like a train coming at you. Like standing like this. No, I was not a receiver. I was purely a lineman. That was my only role. And I didn't even play like the whole. Well, I did. I played the whole year, but that was the only year that I played. I never played. No, it wasn't that. I had no technique. My stance looked like I was a freaking catcher in baseball, and it's like that's clearly not how I'm supposed to line up. Like I had no technique because I was playing. Prior to playing high school football, I only played football maybe once in my life. And I couldn't even play then because they were concerned that, at that time I was overweight, so they were concerned I was going to hurt someone. Yep, that would be correct. Although we can never beat Wayne Valley. We did go up against Wayne Hills. In fact, I think in the sectionals in 2014, we went. PV's football team went up against Wayne Hills in the sectional playoffs, I believe. It was like the first time in almost 2 decades that we had been to the play. Yeah, basically, it's not just Wayne Valley or Wayne Hills. You also have DePaul Catholic in Wayne too. So that's where, and DePaul Catholic was the high school to go to, at least in my area. Passaic County Tech Institute. I don't think we ever went up against them in terms of the season. At least I don't remember. I remember going up against Patterson and Old Tapan. Which one? PCTI? We went up against them in baseball. The baseball team played them in baseball. I remember that because PCTI would always host the county tournament. They had a 4-round baseball pick last year. Cranford? No, that's not in Passaic County. Not Cranford. It was Lakeland. At least this is going off of what I remember from. Yeah, Cranford is Essex. It's not Passaic. Mountain Lakes? No, just Mountain Lakes is just outside of Passaic County. Or am I thinking of Pompton Lakes? I might be thinking of Pompton Lakes. But Mountain Lakes, I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember ever going up against Mountain Lakes. What's the event? So the event is the monthly awards event. So I'll show you once I get done with this moment here. Honestly, I'm kind of not worried about it. Yeah, I do know Robert. I do know Robert Flores from MLB Network. I know who he is. I don't know him personally, but I do know him. No, of him. Excuse me. So, the rewards, in terms of the event, it's, it's Sean Mania and Matt Carpenter. I'll show them to you, but personally, I'm not going to grind it. I'd rather just buy both of them. I'll stand on Shaybridge. Look, I didn't even stay on Shaybridge. Shaybridge. Once they did the tailgate trivia with Bartolo Colon, that's when I moved. It's right here. I got it right here. Yeah, which it's funny though because I'm not Jewish. I mean, I'm not saying you have to be Jewish to like that bobblehead. I'm saying like personally, there's no connection with me and the thing. So to me, it was just more like, oh, okay, cool. You know, okay, another one. Got a mensch on a bench. It's funny because my dad was telling me I should text it to my what up JTAG? I should text that I should text a picture of the mensch on the bench, send it to my brother-in-law, and see if he wants it. I mean, he's not Jewish, but he's always out for the giveaways at City Field, and you know. Goddamn. It's a monthly. I mean, JTAC, I really haven't started it much. I only just did the tops now.
One ball, no strike.
Moments to complete the collection there. And now I'm just doing the moments for the monthly awards program. I mean, that's what it comes with. That's the hat it comes with. I do, O-Town. It's right here. But that's going to my brother-in-law because he wanted the Mrs. Met thing. he wanted that and the Mr. Met, but obviously I have to wait till August for that. Like, O-Town, you can pretty much bet that I'm never going to miss a single promotion when it comes to that. I'm going to that game with Frank. Should be interesting. Good luck. If you're not punching him out by the end of the first inning, you have some patience. Not that I'm encouraging violence. I'm not encouraging violence here. I condone that. Actually, I condemn that. Excuse me. Wrong C word I was looking for. I condemn it. I don't condone it. Come on, Marsh. Yeah, I know, but someone, I gotta be careful what I say. People are gonna either watch this back on Twitch or on YouTube, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, he's encouraging fans to beat each other up." Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, like Frank the Tank in that Twitter video, I'm surprised that guy didn't punch him out. Hey, look at that. I finally got it done. Ooh, excuse me. O-Town, I really don't care about basketball. Actually, I'm a Nets fan. Now, do not blame me. I grew up watching them when they were in New Jersey, so I got to see Kidd, Carter, Richard Jefferson, those years. Okay, cool. What's his thing? I'll go give him a follow on Twitch. Come on, ball. Get out. Damn. You know what's funny, O-Town? Just thinking back to when I was in high school, our baseball team went up against Old Japan when Omar Manaya's son, who was it, Oscar? Or I don't remember who it was, but his son played for Old Japan. So, and I was actually talking to some of the fans there. Well, first I should say that his son only got one at bat in that game that I remember. He didn't even start. It seemed like he was kind of that last guy off the bench that you throw in when the game doesn't really matter. Which should tell you what my high school baseball team was like at that time. But anyway, his son played on Old Japan, and I was talking to some of the Old Japan parents that were there, and they were telling me, "Oh yeah, we don't like him. We don't like him because of his father." I was like, "Oh, well then I guess you're going to be cheering for our pitcher to strike him out if he gets in at bat." And they're like, "Yep." And actually, the pitcher did strike him out. So I told him after the game, I was like, "You know, you just did Mets fans a huge favor, right?" Omar Minaya. Didn't Minaya put together that 2007? I played against. I don't remember who I played against. CBA. CBA. No. Nope. Well, we did. They did play again. I have to. Gosh, I have to go back and look. But there was actually a former MLB draft guy out of high school who actually played against our high school baseball team one year. And it's so funny because I screwed up his name when I was announcing it, because that's what I did for the team. I just announced the names, and I screwed it up because I was looking at the player that was after the guy that was up. So I screwed up his name, and that's the guy that's supposed to be God. He was drafted by the Cardinals. That's what I remember. It had to be 20. It was either 2017 or 2018.
Nope, outside.
So that's my claim to fame. I screwed up a draft pick's name because I wasn't paying attention when I was announcing. You know that when I was announcing the freaking Yankee fans on my high school's baseball team tried to get me to announce it like I was like it was at Yankee Stadium. I was like, you're out of your effing mind if you think I'm gonna even come close to announcing like the Yankees announcing. Forget about it. Forget about it. No way. I will have to swallow a freaking bar of soap, and that might not be enough for me to pay for my crimes. Number 22, Nux, JG John 24, number 22.
He's out.
And actually, that would be number 24. I like number 24. Ooh, got a shot on that one. Hopefully I got one more at bat. I do! Excellent. Unfortunately, it's still not going to count. Dang it!
And leading up for the Reds, the first baseman.
Oh well, just got to do it again. If I was ever going to announce, I want to announce it like the old Mets announcer would do it. Not the female that does it now. The one before her, the one that went now batting number 5, David Wright. That's how I would do it. Or how I would want to do it anyway. That's alright. I probably wasn't going to finish this moment anyway. You know what? I'm going to put my Powerade here. There we go. There's one. So, yeah, it's just, it's so funny to think back to those days of playing, or of high school baseball, high school football, all that stuff. Alright, let me get another at bat.
Ball.
Oh, please tell me that's gone. Or at least off the wall. Thank you. Alright, that moment's done. Let's see, what else have we got? Cano says no.
Leading up for the Nationals, the center fielder.
I hate it when they have the thing, when they have the pitch thing over on the right side while I'm, you know, like I'm freaking blocking it. Come on.
No, that's out.
Now batting, right fielder.
Ball, that's outside. Good. One and two, count.
Anyway, yeah, it wasn't a very good weekend at all for the Mets. At all. No excuse. They lost 2 out of 3 for no reason.
Outside, ball.
Like, that's the freaking Colorado Rockies right there. Like, that's not a team you should be dropping the series to. Strike 3, sit down. But to be fair, the signs were there. Like, think about it. That one game they won, the one game that they won that entire series, how'd they win it? A solo home run with Brandon Nimmo. That's it. I think it boils down to, if the Mets don't get a home run, they're guaranteed not to win. And even if they do get a home run, there's no guarantee they're winning. Yeah, that would be nice. Or at the very least, like, Buck Showalter should get better at playing a bullpen game. You know? It seems like he's stuck in the 90s where pitchers could go 7, 8, 9 innings. And unfortunately, that's not the way it is now. Not by a long shot. Now, if we see someone go 7, 8, if we see even a complete game, that's amazing. It's not just like, it's not even freaking the Mets. It's across the board. And I'm like, upset by it because I used to watch guys like Leiter, like Glavin, like Pedro. They could go 7, 8, 9 innings. They could. And think about it. Pedro could throw heat, much like Diaz could throw, or DeGrom could throw. He could throw heat, and yet he could still do 100. Still do 9 inning game. He could. And it's like, I don't understand. Where did we lose the desire to go that many innings? Is it because we got better at hitting? Like, is that what it is? Did the analytics change the game to the point where, you know, now we're lucky if we see that? Oh, crap. Hey, Crowbar TV, TTV, thank you for the follow. This wouldn't happen to be Zach, would it? Zach that I met with O-Town yesterday? Is that who this is? Jorge Mateo. I thought so. It was good meeting you too, man. Now, are you if you're friends with O-Town, then you're done with college, right? Because you, honestly, dude, and I mean this as a compliment, you look like you could still be in college. Don't worry, I kept Owen from yelling at Buck. Good, because I can't associate myself with someone who gets thrown out of Citi Field for excessive yelling. Sorry, O-Town, but I was not backing you up. You were on your own on that one. I don't like heckling in the slightest. I did it once last year and I regretted it. Not because of anything that was said, but it was like, okay, I shouldn't have done it. Yes, sir. Enjoy that, youth. Enjoy it. Because there will be a time where we're never going to have it. Okay, but that still doesn't keep you from getting arrested and thrown out of Citi Field, possibly banned O-Town. I'm just saying. Whether it's justified or not doesn't stop you from getting banned or arrested.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Although, to be fair, that's probably the game that I wouldn't have minded leaving early. I just stuck around towards the end because I really had nothing better to do on Sunday. Told out and clean it up with the staff and go stop walking the park. Come on, drop. Thank you. No, I get it. I got what you were saying. Told him next gen told me this. No. Do not do that. Do not do that. No, do not throw me under the bus. Nuh-uh. Nope. Not gonna get run over. I'm the one that throws people under the bus, and I run them over with that bus.
The left fielder,
I'm the
number 10,
only one who does that.
Jared Kelly.
One and out.
Ah, dang it. Man, just imagine if we had if we didn't give up Jared Kalenic. I mean, maybe we wouldn't have gotten Diaz, but at least Jared would have been a solid. Like, we wouldn't even need Hannah. Just imagine that outfield with Pete Crow Armstrong, Brendan Nimmo, and Jared Kalenic. That would be a stacked outfield.
The left fielder, number 10, Jared Kelly.
Ball. One out.
Too early on it? Yeah. What could have been? What might have been?
1 and 2 to count. Ball. 2 and 2.
Go foul, go foul, go foul. Please go foul. Oh, jeez. Come on. Why'd you have to rob me of another at bat? Dang it. I will say though, Chitty's cheesesteaks up in the Coca-Cola corner, easily one of my favorite foods to get at Citi Field. Easily. Like, I cannot stand the burgers that they have at those stands. I mean, Shake Shack, the Shake Shack burgers are pretty good. The only problem is they're expensive as hell. And then if you want the fries with that burger, oh, forget it. Forget it. You're at least looking at $35. Not to mention if you want a drink too, now we're talking about $40.
Leading off to the Mariners, the left fielder, number 10,
But that cheesesteak, that Chitty's cheesesteak, I had the Citi Fielder. Oh my God, delicious. And it was very filling too. I'll say that. It was very filling. I didn't even have to buy like more snacks. Generally I don't like to buy snacks at the stadium because they're expensive. But but that cheesesteak, that was so delicious. I'm so glad that I went up there and I tried it because it was delicious. And I may get it again at some point. Because the way I see it, there are only two things worth getting at Citi Field if you're not in the clubs. That's the Chitty's cheesesteak and the hot dogs. That's it. I would not get the fries. They don't put salt on them, and they taste like cardboard. Burger, only go to Shake Shack, but get ready to spend if you want that burger.
Nope. Ball.
The chicken, oh my God, don't even get me started on the chicken, because it's like, it's not even that big. I saw the two pieces of chicken. And I had this, what was it, the second game of the doubleheader with the Braves. I had it thinking it was going to be a lot bigger, or I was going to get a bunch more chicken with it. 2 pieces is all I got for it. I think I spent like, what, $26 or something like that? That's outrageous. I would never get that chicken again. That's the chicken that's over by the Fry Factory. So, and if you want the nuggets are like $16. They're like chicken bites. That's all they are. You can pop one in your mouth and be done with it in like 5 chews. That's it. Oh, is that going to finally be the home run? Is that going to be it? Ah, dang it! So, I'm just saying, like, to me personally, I think the only snacks worth or the only food worth buying. Oh yeah, oh dude.
1 ball, no strike.
Listen, I love popcorn, but looking at that extra large bucket, oh my gosh. That is a hell of a lot of. No, dude, that is not regular size. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. I like. That's basically like. You better be next to that water fountain that's over on the first baseline. Because I can tell you, you are going to need so much water after eating that much popcorn. Oh, so that's your favorite thing to get at Yankee Stadium? I've only been there like 3 times, I want to say. Let's see. Yeah, 3 times. And I never really cared for the food there. Well, mainly because, like, this is Yankee Stadium food we're talking about. This is going to be mad expensive. You think the shit over at Citi Field is overpriced? I much imagine Yankee Stadium is, like, even more.
Leading off the Seattle, the left fielder, number 10,
That's the ball, low.
Wow, shade. Shade, Zach. He's throwing shade your way. Saying you got no discipline. Oh no, I agree. I agree. Yankee Stadium, like. I'm not even saying it as like a an anti-Yankee person. Even if I were to go to Yankee Stadium and I didn't really hate the Yankees, I still would not like their stadium. I just wouldn't. And I know that there are many fans of other teams that I've talked to. I've talked to Braves fans, I've talked to Phillies fans, I've talked to a whole bunch of fans. And they tell me every time they prefer coming to Citi Field over Yankee Stadium because Citi Field is more fun. It's more family friendly. Freaking Yankee Stadium, it feels like you're going to see an opera. And for the way that the Yankees are playing right now, certainly ain't no opera. Now, albeit the Mets are not playing that way either, but I'm just saying, like, Yankee Stadium, yeah, I agree. Yankee Stadium just no. And I wish I had more. I wish I had more time to be able to explore Truist Park. The thing that I hate about Truist is that if you park far away, good luck. Good luck getting to the. You better get there early. That's my best advice. Truist Park can be beautiful, and I think it could be a lot of fun. But the fact that you have to park so far away from it, in order to get the cheap parking, it feels like a mile walk. It really does. Nice. Did it on my first at bat. Couldn't do it with Kalenic. I definitely did it with Rooker. All right, Jose Alvarado. So, I mean, I would just love to be able to. That's my only complaint.
Leading off for Cincinnati, the center fielder, TJ.
Yeah, stay walking distance because I can tell you it's quite a walk.
0-1.
Oh God. And I'm sure it's a great stadium too. Yeah, see, we did not stay in Atlanta. We have no desire. My dad and I, we actually went in 2021 and in 2022, and um, it's funny because in 2021 we were in Alabama because we go to a NASCAR race. It just so happened that that weekend the Braves and the Mets were playing, and I suggested to my dad, oh, after the NASCAR race, why don't we go ahead and go to the Braves Mets game? And he's like, yeah, that'd be cool. So we get out of the race. It's like 5 o'clock Central our time, 5 o'clock Central in Alabama. So we're like, okay, we'll probably miss like the first couple innings, but maybe we won't miss much. The thing we forgot to account for was the time zone difference. So while it may have been, 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock our time, it was really 6 in Atlanta. So by the time we actually got there, it was 8:30. We actually missed the first 6 innings, albeit that game it had no offense in it, at least not from the Mets. There was no offense from the Mets, so we really didn't miss much. But still, we failed to account for the time zone difference, so we were late to the game by like 6 innings. So the next time we when we did it the following year in 2022, that last series against Atlanta, we said, okay, we're going to do it on a day when the NASCAR races are not going on. So we picked that Friday. That was the one Jacob DeGrom pitched. And then, of course, the disaster that was that series. And Braves fans, I will say this, they genuinely surprised me because I hear so much smack talk on Twitter from Braves fans, but yet you talk to them at the stadium, and they're some of the nicest people in the world. Like, I'm genuinely surprised. Both when they came to New York and in Atlanta, they were some of the nicest people in the world. I was genuinely surprised at how amazing the Braves fans were. I may not like their team, but I sure as hell like their fan base. The ones that don't smack talk on Twitter, that is. Alright, what's left? I got to strike out 5 batters in 3 innings, and then I need an extra base hit. Alright. Zach Gallen. I actually wish the Mets would go after Gallen. He's a very solid pitcher. I know he wants to be an ace, and I'm sure that the Diamondbacks would ask a freaking king's ransom for him. But I mean, if you really need pitching that badly, here's a guy that's wasting away in Arizona, who's from New Jersey, so this will be like a homecoming from him. I have to see specifically where he's from. But you could bring him in and he'd be a solid pitcher. That's more of my reach target for the Mets. That's more of like, okay, if we're gonna go at the trade deadline, let's pick up Gallen or get. Maybe it's Gallon. You know what? Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but pick this guy up from Arizona. Arizona is still a few years away from competing. The Mets are competing now. Why not? Bolster this rotation, because right now I look at it and it's not good. Scherzer hurt. Verlander had a rough start. And actually, Crowbar, Zach, that's what they're thinking about doing for Citi Field. They're gonna, well, actually, there's a couple things they're gonna do. So one of them is build a soccer stadium for NYCFC. They're moving out of I think they've already moved out of Yankee Stadium, and sometimes they play their games at Citi Field, because I noticed that there was at one of the games I was at, there was a soccer field like outlining for the penalty box and the goalie box and everything. So I noticed that on the field, and I think the idea is that they're going to build a soccer stadium there. I don't know where specifically. I would have to think that it's behind. It would have to be behind Citi Field. I want to say that, because that has the most space. Anyway, so that's one idea I know that they're going for. Another one that I've heard, and this goes back to what you were talking about, Zach. They're thinking about building an apartment complex, several apartment complexes around Citi Field. Because I know during the off season before spring training, Steve Cohen was holding a meeting with local Flushing residents to ask them about what they thought about that. And I know because I talked to several of those residents during Amazing Day. And they said, oh yeah, he really listened to us. He really heard us out and everything. So they're considering something like that around Citi Field. But obviously that's going to take time. And in all honesty, that might be 2026 by the time that's all ready. I mean, if they do, I am really tempted to go ahead and like try to get a rent an apartment there. That way, I don't even have to walk that far to go home. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. I think it's either, again, the ideas are a soccer stadium and an apartment and multiple apartment complexes is what I understand. Maybe there's other stuff too, but that space behind Citi Field is just being wasted right now. Look at me sounding like a developer. Okay, we're gonna take this land and we're gonna build a bunch of apartment complexes in it. Uh-oh. I hope that didn't just end. Nope. Nope, it did not. I just need to get through this inning. So at least that's what I've heard. There might be more ideas that I'm missing, but that's at least what I've heard. And it would make sense that they would do it behind the stadium. Although what they also could do is do a hotel. That way, the visiting teams, they don't have to stay in the city. They could just go out. They could just go out to that hotel behind City Field, and they could be there. They don't even have to go far. That'd be probably the most convenient. Strike three, sit down. Alright, guys, we're almost done here. We're almost done. We only have one more moment to go. Alright, come on, Chapman. Let's get this extra base hit and let's go home. Or let's get started. Ah. Oh, I have multiple. Okay, I thought it was secluded to the one plate appearance, but apparently it's not.
Counts 1-0.
So, I guess we'll see what happens. Personally, I don't care either way because all that matters is that I can get to Safefield and I can get home. It'd be even cooler if like my friend, one of my coworkers who goes to a lot of Mets games, if he'd like rent an apartment, if they are gonna build an apartment complex there, I hope that he rents it so at the very least I can just crash there until the next morning and then just go right to work. But then I'd have to bring a whole change of clothes and everything, and it's like it's a pain in the ass. But if he has an apartment there, then I could just I could just put that stuff in a bag, leave it in that apartment, and then just head right to the stadium. Could do that. I didn't even think about that. Come on, Chapman. You're supposed to be like the best card in this program. You're telling me you can't get an extra base hit? Also, that's like, wow, 82 speed for Matt Chapman? Wow. That's a pretty quick card. There we go. I feel like that's going to be the one. There we go. Oh, sweet. Alright, I get 5 show packs. Alright, I'll take it. I'll take the 5 show packs. Hold on one second. I'm gonna go open those. Cause I gotta open the monthly awards packs anyway. Ah, there's Yaka bullshit. That Owen was talking about earlier. Come on, where are them frickin' diamonds? Where are them golds? I haven't seen a gold. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, gotta open these up now. Yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna end up selecting all of them. Alex Young, and finally, Justin Steele. Alright, so now we have all the 95 overalls, which is great. Now we just gotta put them all together in the lineup. So, Tyro Estrada, hold on. Justin Steele. And I still gotta get Pryor done, as well as Santana. Excuse me. And then Alex Young. There's one more that I'm forgetting here. Brendan Marsh. But he's... who's the better? Okay, so Zawinski's going to have to play left or right field. And then Zawinski is going to... Or, I'm sorry, Marsh is going to play center. So... There we go. Alright, now let's adjust the lineup a bit. So... Brendan Marsh... Tyro Estrada, I'm probably going to put him second so that I have that. Oh, I could probably replace Senzel too. Yeah, because I'm trying to work on the team, the central team affinity as well, so... And then I need a DH. Let's see. Who's DH that I could put in? Salvi? Yeah, we could go Salvi. Yeah, that looks good. Alright. Let me just make sure. So we're probably going to start with Pryor, and then we'll move on to Steele. I'm going to do a full 9-inning game with these two guys. And that'll likely take me to the end of my stream. Because 2 play versus CPU games, they usually, at least for me, they take an hour. Alright, let's get started, guys. I was going to send him this second, but yeah.
Runner!
Let's go. It's alright. We still have Santana there that can heal help us. At least I hope so, anyway. Nice! Okay, Yohan Moncada. I got you. And Salvador Perez, alright. This is why I love to... This is probably my favorite way to go ahead and earn the XP. It's obvious, because the home runs you hit, you can easily get 40 XP right there. Alright, Pryor, you're up. And of course, I gotta remember to do that.
Oh, and 1.
Actually, one of the 3 guys that has
1 ball,
21
2 strikes.
strikeouts in a single game, Mark Pryor. Or no, am I thinking of Kerry Wood? You know what? I think I'm thinking of his teammate, Kerry Wood. Strike 3, sit down.
Ball. Hey, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, last year I thought the Mark Pryor card would be a lot better. But I don't know. When I pitched with it, it was just awful. Strike 3, sit down. Maybe it was just me, but it just seemed bad.
0-1's the count.
Or maybe it's because like that card wasn't meant for velocity. It was more supposed to be for breaking pitches and everything. And I guess because I didn't realize it, that's why he got smacked around a lot. Strike 3, sit down. Oh, no problem, O-Town. No problem at all. I finished up on the moment, so now I'm just doing the XP with all the monthly awards cards, or with at least all the 95 overalls. Well, almost all of them. Yeah, so we're making pretty good progress. Oh gosh, dang. Uh-oh.
He's out.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Rockies.
I mean, that's my fault because I reached for that one, so. Foul? Come on.
He's out.
Not good. There we go. Sawinski. Nice. Didn't square it up or anything. He just got good timing on it and got lucky.
0-1.
What am I doing swinging at that bullshit?
The bat, the third baseman.
All right. Well, at least we got the home run with Sawinski, so that's good news.
Aye. 0-2.
Strike three, sit down. I don't know, just playing with Pryor, it makes me think back to the days that I used to play MVP Baseball 2004. I actually still have the game for PlayStation 2 and for computer too. So just playing with Pryor just makes me think about it because I remember when Pryor was the ace for the Cubs. Actually, MVP Baseball 2005, he still may have been the ace for the Cubs. Okay, so how are these guys, the AL Central guys, that I'm really not trying or that I'm not really worried about? How are they hitting all the home runs that I'm hoping my guys like my monthly awards guys would hit? Like, there goes freaking Carpenter. You had Perez, you had Carpenter, you had who was the guy before who was it before Vaughn. So you had Perez, you had Vaughn, and you had Carpenter all hit home runs. Like, why can't my monthly awards guys do that? Even Elvis Andrus is hitting extra base hits. Although I think Andrus is, I want to say he's one of the captains. No. No, he can't be one of the captains for the AL Central. Go ahead, Marsh. Go three. Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Give me that shit. Alright, well, he won't get a base hit, but at least he'll get a run or an RBI. I can smell it there right now. It smells like chicken. Smells like fried chicken. Attaboy Sawinski. Let's see, is that going to be enough for a triple? I think... Nope, I'll be good. Although, I'll have to see if they credit it as a double. That's the thing. Or not credit it as a double, but credit it as a. Oh, they did say that he tripled. Good. You never know sometimes. Sometimes they're like, well, there was a throwing error, so it's really a double.
That's inside.
And why I'm worried about that is because of the XP. You get a lot more XP for a triple than you do for a double. Now, I wish the Mets had done this to the Rockies this weekend. Would have been freaking fantastic.
He's out. Ball, that's in.
Strike three, sit down. Had a boy Pryor.
He's out. No ball, 2 strikes. Ball, that's off the plate.
Yeah. Wasn't going to really throw or
Ball 2.
fool him. Dang. They were fishing on that one? There we go. Strike three, sit down.
Leading off for Long Island, the designated hitter, Salvador Perez.
Nice. Now the funny thing is with Salvador Perez, he's the only top Royals guy that I'm gonna end up using. So a lot of the XP that I'm getting with the Royals is through him, unless there are others that come out.
Oh,
The right fielder, number 30, Harry Carpenter.
Like, at least with the Tigers, they have, they have Chapin, they have Carpenter, they have several good guys. What's my favorite country song?
off the plate, ball 1.
This Is How We Roll by Florida Georgia Line. How does a perfect end up a line out? Dang. Oh yeah, definitely. I heard it.
0-1's the count.
I heard it through WWE 2K15 when I was playing that on PlayStation 4.
Here he goes.
And as soon as I heard it, I was like, this song has to be in our country playlist. So one of the first things I did when I was the country music producer at my radio station, or at my college radio station, was update the playlist, and that was part of it. That was like one of the first songs I added. Plus a lot of other hits too, but updating the playlist because it had not been updated since at least I got there.
Number 25,
And that's a long time.
CJ Pro.
You know, I got there probably 2014, or yeah, 2014 I got there, and it had not been updated since. We changed the name of the show from Gone Country to Country Nation. So we did that, but we did not update the playlist. And strike three, sit down there, by the way,
Leading off for the
Mark Pryor.
Lions, the center fielder, Brandon Marsh.
Attaboy, Marsh. Uh-oh. Maybe in trouble here.
He's going.
Oh no, I'm fine. I thought that 35 steal was gonna throw off the timing, but lucky for me, he's got speed. Cairo Estrada with the double. You know what? I'm gonna stretch it into a triple. I think I can. Let's go! I'm starting to get that blue tongue from the Powerade. Well, Powerade Zero. By the way, Powerade does not endorse this. I'm drinking it because I needed the energy after my workout. I fell asleep on the bus, so I was like, I need the energy.
He's in there.
He knows I want to steal. Ah, Gundam. The perfect throw. D-Lubby, what's up? How you doing? I'm just grinding out the XP missions for the monthly awards program. I'm just doing the first one. I did all the moments, so I have all the 95 overalls that are part of the program. So right now I'm working with Pryor, pretty good. Got Chapman yesterday, nice. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do once I complete this program, because if there's not a lot of stuff to do after that, I gotta figure something out. I mean, obviously later this week we're gonna get the Team Affinity. We're going to get the second season, or the second, whatever. Set 2 is coming out, so. And the thing that, the little graphic that they revealed as like a hint to the second set, it kind of makes me believe that there are going to be beasts, like new beast cards or something like that. Like what they had in Madden, for the around Halloween and Christmas, they would have the snow beast or the Halloween beast or whatever. But I mean, maybe I'm just not looking into it deep enough. So. Hopefully that'll be a good set. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna get. I don't think I'm gonna get my second choice for the tops now, or for the first set.
Got him.
Which is unfortunate, because the idea of having Babe or Pedro pair up with Chipper, that might have been cool. But I didn't grind ranked seasons. Well, I did grind ranked seasons. I grinded the program.
The batter number 24.
Not to mention made it to what was it, Pennant that I was in? Pennant? before I went back down to All-Star. I will say I'm looking forward to the next ranked season's program that they're going to release. I'm so excited for it. Hopefully it's another good one, because, you know, having Garrick was an excellent choice. I'm sure I would have been happy with Henderson, and then Gagne.
No ball, 2 strikes.
And maybe they'll even do, like, the flashbacks. You know, like, maybe Gagne and Garrick, or Gagne and Henderson will be available as rewinds. Yeah, that was a great moment. Henry Ford, out of all people, walking it off. I still have the video up on YouTube. But unfortunately, one person didn't like it. Apparently, they must have been that picture that I hit it off of. Didn't like the fact that Harry Ford, Harry Ford hit a home run off of them. I also should probably do the U.S. map. You know, I haven't done that yet. The U.S. map. I just personally saw no reason to do it, considering that there were a lot of 99s that were released early on. It's like, why would I need to do the Conquest map? Roberto Clemente, is he even going to start for me? No. Although I do have to grind for Mark Mulder, because I have not. But I'm going to do that like in the next season when I don't have the XP, or when I need the XP. So I'll probably do that in the next set, so that I can, or the next program. Attaboy, Estrada. Attaboy, Zawinski.
He's going.
And yeah, he's going to easily steal that. Easy. Attaboy, Santana. Show off that power.
Number 27, Riley.
Oh, look at Salvador Perez. 4 home runs. Holy shit. Is he about to make it 5? Did he just make it 5? He made it 5. That was a splashdown. My God, Salvador Perez. Holy shit. Now, granted, this is on rookie, and this is at Coors Field, so yeah. But even still, like, a home run alone is 40 XP. You do that 5 times, that's 200 XP right there. And I'm not even taking into consideration RBI runs that you get from that. So it could actually be a lot more. It might even be like 250. Strike 3, sit down. There were a couple programs that I did not finish last year for monthly awards. That was I want to say it had to be the last two. It had to be August. It had to be August and September. Because I remember doing all the other months before then, and that program was a pain in the ass. Those programs were a pain in the ass to grind. Like, it was just a lot. It really was. Nice, AJ. Good for you. So you have all three of them, or just, or are you still missing one of them? Because I know you have, I think I know you have Pedro. Okay, so you're just missing Chipper, then. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'll be lucky. I'll be lucky if I get to the second one. I should have bought more of those Diamond Duos, because like maybe that would have helped me a lot. But I just didn't want to spend the stubs in case there were Mets players that ended up online. You know, that I couldn't grind out for. Like if there's a Mets player to be had in the actually that's what I could do. I could just buy all the silver and the silver and gold cards in the Battle Royale program. I mean, it'll probably cost me, quite a bit, but it'll be cheaper than trying to grind any of those diamonds. And it sure as hell will be a lot cheaper than trying to grind out the program itself.
Oh, two is the count. Two balls, two strikes.
What am I at? 2 outs, 1 out. Okay, so even if I don't get a base hit here with Sawinski, which I'm not, but I'll get a sack fly and that should work out. An RBI works well here too. At least I'll have Carlos Santana. Ooh. Pint was really revving that one up. That was at freaking 100 miles per hour. Dang it.
No, that's low.
There we go, Pryor. Strike 3, sit down. Strike 3, sit down. Keep racking up those strikeouts. Keep racking them up. We'll get even more XP. Of course, the innings help.
That's outside.
And if Pryor gives up a run, I'm definitely going to throw in Young.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Because there's no point at that moment. Like, if Pryor is not strike 3, sit down. By the way, if Pryor is not going to get the complete game shutout, then I'm not going to waste any more innings pitching with him.
0-1's the count.
Got me fooled. Got me fooled. Take that. Well, that was the last of the Powerade that I had. I mean, I can always go downstairs and get more if I wanted, but not worth it in my mind. So hopefully the electrolyte will feed me enough energy that I can get through the rest of this stream. Because that I can tell you that was the only thing that was keeping me up. At least when I got home. Adulting is hard. Getting up early in the morning just to go to work, and then not having too much time because I had to go to the gym after work, and then go get my car filled up with gas. So by the time I got home, it was basically 4:30. Say, oh, that's a lot of time. Well, not a lot of time.
He's out.
There just never is enough time in the day to be able to do a lot of stuff.
0-1's the count.
Attaboy, Andrus. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw earlier in some of my streams, but I do have some of the team collections done. I actually forgot to go over that. I mean, they're not the big ones. They're not really like. I'm not talking about the Angels or the Yankees or the Mets or anything like that. These are more the low the teams that don't have too many diamonds or golds on them. So like the Nationals, the A's, the Tigers, the Royals. The Twins, actually. Twins, you know, I had pulled Byron Buxton, and once I did that, that's all I really needed to complete the collection. So I'll go over it. I'll go over it after I complete this game. And I'll show you which team collections I've done so far. But I will tell you that a good portion of them are in the AL Central. That's another thing too. Like, they should have. I don't know if they did this. Maybe they did this one year. It might have been MLB The Show 21 actually, where if you completed the team collection, that counted as XP towards the Team Affinity program. And if they didn't do it, they should do it. Gives you more of an incentive to go ahead. But then the question becomes, do you try to do it for the first program, or do you try and save it for later on? You know, when the rewards might be better. That's an error. No! Oh, Pryor loses the perfect game, no hitter. I think the scorer screwed Pryor on that one. But, oh well. Again, I don't get a lot of XP for perfect games or no hitters. I wish I did, because that'd be more of an incentive to go ahead and do it. But I think the most you can get is complete game shutout. That's the only thing you can accomplish by doing the Oh, I thought it was a double play. Oh well, is what it is. Don't catch that. Don't catch that. Don't catch that. Frick! Oh, where's Pepper
Now
going?
down, third baseman.
Oh my God! Stop with this. Stop. I'm sorry. Capital One keeps bothering me about this. About upgrading my credit card because they see like I pay the bill. I use it for not a lot of things, actually small things. Just maybe some food, some dry cleaning here and there. That's about it. And then I just pay it off like around the time I get paid. So, but they're like, oh, great track record. So why don't we bump you up to 1.5% cash back? Really? How about my spending limit be increased? How about that?
1 ball, 2 strikes.
How about my credit score keep going up? Strike 3, stay down. I mean, it's going up based on me buying and paying off my credit card and everything.
Nope, that's a ball.
But it's just like I wish Capital One would offer something better than 1.5% cash back. Strike 3, stay down. Actually make it worth my time. Alright, that's me. Complete game shutout for Pryor. 19 strikeouts. Perez, obviously Perez led the way with 5 home runs. Marsh had 3 extra base hits. Zawinski had a couple. So did Estrada and a stolen base. So let's see what happens. I know Pryor is definitely going to be done. He's got to be done. Perez, he gets up to tier 1. What? I gotta see this. Yeah, so Pryor's done. I actually only needed 500 with him. I thought I'd need more, but, I guess they finally shortened that to 500, where before they were asking for 600. Estrada is 50 away. Zawinski is 35 away. Santana's 55 away. And Marsh is 45 away. So, all in all, I still gotta do more. Of course, I gotta do more. But at least Pryor being done helps. Oh, he only got me. Well, that also helps too. Having, that actually incentivizes me to keep playing with my cards even when I'm done with them. Like, I'll be done with Zawinski and Marsh and 20. Oh boy, that'll be quite a bit. Plus, I'm gonna have to get the saves somehow. Just go into Conquest and do it. So we just gotta do Steel next. Justin Steele right there. And then we should really have And then we'll have all the monthly awards guys done after this game. What? Who's... What? Hold on. Okay. This makes no effing sense. Why would a coworker of mine, who, if they're gonna slack me, I'm expecting that this has to be work related. My coworker decides he's gonna slack me and talk to me about Mike Pelfrey pitching. Like, this coworker sometimes he doesn't get it.
Ball.
And I hate to talk badly about him because he does work hard, but, like, dude, please do not use Slack. If you want to talk to me tomorrow. Or actually, no, he's not working tomorrow. Never mind. But, like, just see me, when you see me, just talk to me. Okay? If you're going to contact me on Slack, it better be related to work. If you want my number, you can text me. I'm sorry, that's just really annoying. I thought that was going to be something related to work, like, your shift is being changed, so, we need you to come in later, or we need you to fill this shift instead. Attaboy Santana. So, again, I don't mean to speak badly about my coworker. It's just like, please do not use Slack to contact me unless it's something that's work related. Because him talking about Mike Pelfrey has no relation to our work whatsoever. And I don't care about Pelfrey. I don't. I have not thought about Pelfrey since probably 2009. Maybe he's popped up in MLB The Show for me, and it's like, oh, what a flash from the past.
Ball. That's out.
But otherwise, I don't really give a damn about Pelfrey. And plus, the Mets aren't even playing tonight. So what the heck? Why would I care about Pelfrey pitching for another team? Honestly, I'm even surprised. Is he talking about the minors? Is Mike Pelfrey in the minors? This might be a game where it's hard for me to strike out batters.
No ball, 2 strikes.
And by the way, guys, because I did this for the shooting in the first shooting in Texas last week, the one with the neighbor shooting the 5 family members or whatever. But again, I just want to express my thoughts and prayers out to the victims of the Allen, Texas shooting, the mall shooting. You know, I just, I mean, thank God the cop was there to be able to neutralize the gunman. Otherwise, it could have been a lot worse. So, but I also recognize that my thoughts and prayers mean nothing. They really mean nothing. Like, they mean as much coming from my mouth as anyone else, which is meaningless. You know? And no, this is not me calling for any gun control measures or anything like that. I'm not in Texas, so I'm not a Texas voter. Therefore, I have no right to weigh in on any of the laws in Texas. I have no right. All I'm just asking is that we do something. You know? And at the very least, show bipartisanship. You know, who said that it has to be my way or the highway? Why can't it be, okay, we'll take the middle ground? You know, isn't that what Congress did with the gun reform bill? Isn't that what they did? They found middle ground, and they managed to get Republicans and to be able to support it for the first gun legislation in the Congress since the early 90s, or since the mid 90s, I should say. I'm just saying, like, you know, that to me shows that it can be done. It doesn't have to be at the federal level. Why can't it be at the state level? I think that's the way most Americans want our government to work. It's bipartisan. Not, oh, I'm a conservative, so I want everything my way. And if the Democrats don't like it, you know, boo-hoo to them. Or, I'm a Democrat, and we should get everything we want. And if the Republicans don't like that, well, boo-hoo-hoo. No, like, well, there's got to be bipartisanship. I think it can be achieved. Well, of course it can be achieved. It's been done. And you got to be able to find the issues that they're willing to do it. So, and again, it doesn't have to be at the federal level. Why can't it be at the state level?
Ball one, no strike.
So, that's all I just hope for, is bipartisanship. Because then that way, everyone gets something that they want. Even if it's not everything they want, it's better than nothing. But, I mean, who am I to talk? I'm just someone that is a voter. That's it. This is the one thing I've learned about politics in my time in news and everything. Oh, wow, I can't believe I didn't realize that. And somehow, I still managed to score on that. Even with the much delayed reaction, somehow I still scored. And I probably would have scored anyway, even if I hadn't gone, because of Andrew Vaughn.
All one's the count.
No, I actually, the only player that I got done in terms of the XP mission was Mark Pryor. He was the only one. I literally just did I'm doing the XP mission right now, AJ, by playing a full 9-inning game. So right now so that's what I'm trying to do. is just get the XP with all the players. Unfortunately, I don't have too many to work with right now. I only have a few, but I'm hoping they'll be. There we go. Just finished today. Nice. Enjoy Chapman. And honestly, if I'm being honest, I think this is going to take me at least a couple days. Definitely I had to finish up the April Tops Now program in order to get it I had to finish the April Tops Now program to make some progress, and then I lost Sunday because I got back late from the Mets game and I had to do a work-related thing. So now I'm trying to make up as much progress as I can. And definitely having that stolen base with Zawinski helped. You couldn't play this weekend because I get that. Yeah, look, listen, AJ, I'll be honest with you. Life gets in the way.
Ball, that's in.
So, and I learned that playing MLB The Show ever since I went full time. It just seems like I never have time in the day to be able to do this stuff. And the thing is, like, I refuse to make any progress off stream. Like, I don't want you guys to miss a single thing. So that's why I'm limiting my progress to what I do on stream. Otherwise I could have probably had this. Well, no, actually, I could have had some progress already. It wouldn't be much, though. It would not be a whole lot. Strike 3, sit down. But because I want you guys to be able to see this, that's why I'm willing to not do any offline stuff in the meantime. 7th P5, I've not even had my first P5. I think the closest that I have is the 99th Francisco Lindor. Now, am I, like... So, can you explain this for me, AJ? Can I not play with my set 1 players once set 2 comes in? Is that how it works? Because I think that's pretty bullshit. Or like, what? Do they not count any XP if you play with a set 1 roster? Like, how are they going to enforce this whole thing? No, when set... Okay, so I can still use set 1 when set 2 comes out, but set 1 and 2 I can't... or set 1 I can't use once set 3 comes out. Okay, thank you for explaining that, because I had no idea how this was supposed to work.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Strike 3, stay down. Keep going, Steele. You're actually Doing better than I thought you were going to do.
0-1. Aye.
Strike 3, sit down. Dang, he's about to have 10 strikeouts
Yeah.
in just 4 innings pitched.
Aye.
That's over two strikeouts an inning.
That's a ball.
Strike 3, sit down. Hey, all these strikeouts are very good for someone like Steele. Because let's say I do give up a run with him, then at the most he goes 6 innings, and I bring in Young to be able to pull out the save. So at least by racking up all these strikeouts, he has a he can earn a lot of XP.
Now batting, shortstop, Elvis Andrews.
Oh yeah, and for the week, Luis Robert is getting supercharged.
The center fielder, number 16,
I don't want to hear that name. But I don't care. He can do well, he can do horrible. I don't care. His time with the Mets was pretty crappy. And personally, I'd like to forget it.
He's going, he's going, he's going.
Aye. Safe.
I don't really need the stolen base, but I just want to make sure I get the XP, you know? Nice, Sawinski.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Rockies.
Excuse me.
Number 64, Gavin.
Alright, let's get another hit with Carlos Santana. And then, and then next part will be, or then, get over his head. Over. Let's go. Yeah, no, sorry, Santana, you're too slow. Too slow. That sucks. Because I can't steal with him either, so he has to settle for a single.
Now batting, designated hitter, Salvador Perez.
Yeah? I guess, let's see how long this takes me. If it doesn't take me long, we can do it. There goes the no-hit for, Steele. Oh well. It's always tough to pitch against the Rockies with a lefty. So let's just see how far I get with the thing, because this play versus CPU, the first one, took me about an hour. Strike 3, sit down.
Ball 1. I got a ball, 1 strike.
Strike 3, sit down.
Now batting, shortstop, Jerickson. Road call.
Yeah, but AJ, we've already, we've played a lot of co-op games. We already know we're good. Well, I honestly, I think a lot of that credit goes to you. I just get lucky.
Ball.
Strike three, sit down. It's going all right. We should be done with all the 95 overalls. Not to mention, or not the monthly awards 95 overalls plus the captains. We're already done with Pryor, so we just got to get Santana done. And then I think we'll start. It'll start
The right fielder.
with the 97 overalls.
Carpenter.
And I hear you, man. I was falling asleep on the bus on my way back home from work. And take into account, I was at the gym prior to getting on the bus. So it's like you would think I would have a lot more energy if I had just worked out. But yes, I work in New York City.
One zero.
Again, I won't say which company it's for because I don't want to create controversy. That it doesn't. Well, the only way from New Jersey into New York are two ways. It's either bus or train with NJ Transit. Transit gets you there 45 minutes, direct line. If you have to be redirected, then I would say another like 10 minutes.
I got one ball, one strike.
Bus, if there's no traffic, like the bus that I take,
Ball.
it's at 5 o'clock in the morning. That gets me into the city by 5:30. And that gives me plenty of time to be able to walk to work. So, personally, I prefer the bus only because you can have problems on the train. Like this morning, my coworker who she took the train into the city, but it got all backed up
Number 2.
because they were having maintenance issues on one of the lines, so all the trains had to be redirected to Hoboken, and then from Hoboken you got into the city. But it got so backed up, they said it was a 45-minute wait for the train to get into New York City, and by the time that happened, they had already cleaned up the maintenance issue and were getting trains into New York City. You know, my coworker better. It depends. It really depends. I would personally, I'd rather take the train in rush hour than the bus because the bus there's so much traffic getting into the city from the Lincoln Tunnel that it's much easier for me to go ahead and get on the train and go into New York City that way. But if it's if it's not during rush hour, then absolutely the bus.
Ball one. Ball one, no strike.
I mean, I also personally wouldn't drive because the tolls, they're like $16 going into the city. I don't necessarily have to, but as a common courtesy, and because I like to, give the impression that I take my work seriously, I do. I do wear a dress shirt and dress pants to work. Not a tie though. Not a tie. I don't do. I mean, I have ties, but I only use them for like a couple
Foul
shirts.
ball.
The rest of them are colored, so I don't have to have the tie on them. It's so funny because when I was an intern for the company that I work with now, I used to go in with a suit every single day. Or every day that I went in, I always wore a suit. And they like had to pull me aside and say, Jeffrey, while we appreciate, you wanting to dress this way, it's very, very nice, it's too formal. It's too formal. You need to dial it down. So, yeah, 5 a.m. is early, but that's the earliest bus that I can catch that'll get me into the city in time for work, because I start at 6. So 5 a.m. is the earliest that I can get. Not that I mind it. I mean, the train, I had to be up by like 3:30 and for a train that was at 5:45. So at least with a 5 o'clock bus, I can wake up at 4. Which you may think that's really not much of a difference, 3:30, 4, but a half hour really does make a difference, in my opinion. The thing that I like about the early morning shift is that it gives me the rest of the day. It gives me time to be able to do this, to be able to stream. Whereas what I was working before was a 2 to 10, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do a stream. I got to sleep in, yes, on the days that I didn't have to go into the gym, but I mean, I wouldn't be able to stream on 2 to 10. AL Central and AL East, and 87 on the East and 53 on the Central. Nice. Nice. Go get it, man. Go get it. Got a couple days here left. Just make sure you do those team build missions. I don't know if you have I'm assuming you have all the stat missions and XP and everything done. Did I do the Mariners Conquest? No, not yet. I may just do that on stream, but I feel like that's a map more for offline. So I may do it offline. I don't know yet.
The batter, number 15, designated hitter, Randall Richard.
Richard. Strike 3, sit down. Tops now player missions. Yeah, honestly, that's probably how I'm going to do them too. Like, the whole conquest to me is more for if I have relief pitchers that I need to grind for the XP and everything, then I'll do that. Otherwise, conquest, even the USA map is not really that interesting to me because I already have way better cards than Roberto Clemente. And I'm sure that Clemente card is going to get a 99 overall at some point. Attaboy Marsh. I mean, the uniform looks cool, and don't get me wrong, you could get a lot of rewards from. You could get a lot of hidden rewards on that map, I'm sure. But right now, my focus is on the monthly awards program. So, ooh, Jack. Okay. Dang, rip that one. I actually have to remember if I even did the USA map from last year. Because I feel like I didn't. But that would be so uncharacteristic of me. 99 Otani or Live Series Otani? Because don't forget that if you have that 99 Otani, that counts toward that helps. 99? Yeah, I got lucky with his pull. I got lucky with that one. What the hell? Let me see if I can actually... Holy crap, I got a triple with Salvador Perez. He pulled Verlander again? Nice. I have pulled almost every diamond in the NL East except for one of the Mets. Like, I pulled Harper, I pulled, I think, Noah, I've gotten Alcantara, and Michael Harris, the second.
Number 61, Justin.
I've gotten all those cards, and yet I have not gotten a Diamond Mets player. Not Diaz, not Scherzer, not Verlander, not Alonso. They're holding out on me. He may get one. He may get one, you know, for May. He may get one for May. But they're not going to do it now. Oh, was that Andrus? Oh, okay, so then we're at the top of the lineup here with Marsh. Did we bat around? I think we batted around.
That's a ball.
Nice. Yeah. That's what happens, O-Town. I'm not... You know what? To be fair, the Rockies deserve it for the beatdown that they put on the Mets this weekend. They deserve it. It's their fault for deciding to go out and win against the Mets instead of laying down and actually giving the Mets the win. Yeah, exactly. If I can't do it in real life, then I'm going to do it in a video game. How do you think I got through so many years of being a Jets fan? Oh yeah, strike three, sit down. And strike three, sit down for this one too.
Leading off for Long Island, the second baseman, Tyro Estrada.
That's all that matters. Oh, really? Who's your friend? No, O-Town, I was Rogers all the way. And if it weren't him, I wanted Lamar. I wanted Lamar Jackson. KD Hill? And he just got drafted? What was he, 3rd round? 4th round? No, Layla. I've seen friends of mine play it, but not me personally. That's just not my game. Your friend just signed with the Jets? Who is your friend?
Leading off for the Rockies, the third baseman, Harold.
Oh, you know Randall Cobb. Yeah, I heard he's Aaron Rodgers' friend too. Dalwinder Sin. I hope I'm saying that right. No, I have never played Minecraft. Nope, not once. Never interested me. But thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. How you doing tonight? Aside from the fact that I'm probably one of the first people you've met who have never played Minecraft. Technically, he hasn't signed, but almost there. Okay. All right, AJ. Best of luck to him. Honestly, I hope the Jets. I'm thinking the Jets are going to do well this season with Rodgers. You know, I at least that's what I'm hoping. You know, because how many times have we drafted a QB and it's not worked out? Plenty of times. Holy mackerel. Look at all of this. Holy sh... Okay, well, I must have made a lot of progress. But the other two I know got signed on the Chiefs and the Niners. Were they on the Chiefs were they on the Chiefs when they won the Super Bowls? They won the 2 Super Bowls? Okay, I see. So, So stolen bases, extra base hits, strikeouts, and hits. I just need the saves, which I can easily do. And then we just leave the... No, sadly, just got signed this year. Okay, well, the Chiefs... Listen, AJ, the Chiefs are still very much the class of the AFC. All right? Not just of the AFC West, but they are the team to beat for the AFC. Okay? You know, I think people are have to recognize that. They really do. 1 second. Let me just set up my lineup. Let's see. There's 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it really doesn't matter. 1 second. 1 second, and I just want to make sure that someone who hasn't redeemed the monthly awards, or not the monthly awards, someone who hasn't redeemed the reward to play co-op with me or play against me, I just want to make sure that that person's not in here yet, if they are in here. All right, very good. Yeah, so just give me 1 second. Well, there's that gold I was looking for. All right. You know what? I can set my lineup for another time. Let me just change back to my main lineup. All right. Let's hold on. I want to make sure one. Just want to make sure no one redeemed it. So give me 1 second. Landon redeemed it, but he said he's not redeeming it until tomorrow. So yeah, we can run co-op, AJ. I'll give a freebie for this one. Actually, I could probably redeem it myself. Yeah. I have unlimited points, so I can do this myself. Alright, so I'm gonna put in Turner, or actually, Turner, Lindor, whoops, and Garrick. Starting pitcher, obviously we want, oh, there's Ohtani. Relief pitcher, Diaz, and Lee Smith. Because apparently I don't have access to Gregory Soto anymore. Alright, Gibson. Okay. Alright, that looks, oh. Okay, so you went all outfield, I went all infield. Okay, good balance. Very good balance. Alright, AJ, let's do this. I hope so. You're telling me that this lineup is going to have P5s. Gotcha. Oh, no worries. Alright, we got Bob Gibson. I didn't see what their lineup was, by the way, so But this will be my last game of the night, because I gotta get ready. I want to go eat dinner and then get ready for bed.
Leading off for New
Oh,
York,
99
the right
Julio,
fielder,
dang.
Julio Rodriguez.
Well, we can, whatever the outcome is, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, we'd like to win, but if we can, it's no big deal. It's all good. Beatty? I mean, look, even, I like Beatty as much as the next guy, but
All one.
all right, well, go get it, man.
1-1.
I mean, yeah. Look, I told you not to throw. Well, actually, that was a lefty, right? Yeah, that was lefty, so be careful when you throw low, because these guys they can swing. But that's okay, it's only one run. So as long as we limit the damage, we'll be fine. There you go, strike 3, sit down. Which Machado is this?
Yeah.
Line up.
0-2 is the count.
Uh-oh. Stinker right down the middle. Yep, pitching is broken. That's why you gotta be careful. Pitching is broken in this game.
Leading off for the Palomino, the shortstop,
That's the ball.
Oh, so they threw Bob Gibson against us anyway.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Nice. Look, one swing of the bat can turn things around here.
batting second, the left fielder, Mike.
Certainly the guy to do it.
Wow.
He's going, he's going.
Hey!
Okay, the game froze. Nice. We broke the game, AJ. We broke the game. Trey Turner is so quick, he broke the game. Trey Turner is officially faster than light. Faster than the speed of light. Oh boy. Oh wow. Oh, here we go. I bet I already know what's coming. Oh, did we get it? Did we get the W? I don't know. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Yeah, Vita Blue passed away over the weekend. So what was my reward? Oh, cool. That helps. Come on, give me 99s. Ah, not 99. All right, so Gleyber Torres with the Yankees, Hae-Sung Kim with the Padres, and Jesus Luzardo with the... Well, truth be told, I kind of do want the 5-pack bundle, only because I'm trying to complete the collection, so... Or complete team collection, so... I'm going to go with Hae-Sung Kim. And let me go into set collections. Maybe I have enough. No, but I do have enough for 2,500 stubs and 10,000 XP. So I just gotta keep grinding tomorrow. Keep grinding, get the it is what it is. Let's see. Who are some of the other? Because I'm gonna set up my team for tomorrow. So we have Yandy Diaz, Yona Heim, Jared Kelenic in left field. So I'm gonna have to probably move Zawinski to right field. Jorge Mateo. And then Jared Kelenic. And then at DH, Jason Outman, right? Or I guess it really doesn't matter. So really the only one that needs to be... Well, hold on. There might be... Okay, so I need to put in Yenier Cano. I hope I'm saying that right. I probably am not. But, all right. So, yeah. Justin Steele is obviously the guy we're going to run with. We just need to move Yohan Moncada down here. And then... Okay, this looks good. Yeah, I think that lineup will work. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for me. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, even if it was only for a moment. I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to follow me here on Twitch and or subscribe. Either one would make me a very happy person. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel and like the video. And if you want to know when I go live, you can follow me here on Twitch. Turn on notifications. That way Twitch sends you an email every time I start up a stream. You can also follow me on Twitter at TTVNextJGGen24. The the gamer tag. It's just my gamer tag, so just plug that in. Go give me a follow. I'll usually tweet whenever I go live. You can also see some commentary that I make about the Mets because I have a lot of comments to make about them. Overall, this was great. I think we're actually past halfway in the program. Yeah, we're past halfway. So, not much else to do. We just got to do the monthly awards thing. Or we just got to work on the 97 overalls now. And then we'll be able to get guys like Brent Rooker, Jose Alvarado, Luis Arias, Zach Galen, and then finally we'll eventually make our way to Matt Chapman. If all goes according to plan, this very well could be done by tomorrow. I'm being hopeful on that. If worse comes to worse, we get it done on Wednesday. Wednesday is the absolute latest that this will take me to get it done. So expect it to be on Wednesday. So tune in tomorrow. We'll see how much progress we make. I'm hoping for a whole lot, but I guess we'll see. And until then, guys, have a great night.